Okay, and we are live. So, if you didn't know, the Smite Tactics patch dropped today, right? Big drop, changed a ton of stuff. I went over it in the other video where I was like going over the changes, and there's actually a lot of community backlash right now, and I don't think it's justified. First, let's just start off by saying this. This is kind of a stupid question, but what patch are we in right now? We're in 0.23, right? 0.23. The game has not even reached, I guess, realistically, like a beta full stage. Like they're adjusting so much right now. The game is like not even close to being publicly released, right? So in the community, I guess because they've been playing this game for several months, feels entitled to having this all-star game or this game that is perfectly ready. That's just not possible. When you consider how much there is to do in a card game in terms of balancing, in terms of map layout, in terms of especially uniqueness, because they don't want to just carbon copy duel, they're trying to mix it up. There's a lot they have to adjust. And these are people, just like the players, who also like can't adjust everything perfectly. So the biggest complaint I'm seeing is a lot of balancing between got cards like Poseidon. People are getting really angry about, which I'll go over right now is completely unjustified. People are complaining a ton about this card right here, which you don't need to, because people obviously I guess they can't understand on curve that when you play this card you lose your curve. I had some people complaining in the Discord, you know, saying that Poseidon would just wreck every single one of their units. Guys, it's time for some math. Okay, so if you play this card, let's say you coin it out at turn 4, right? So you're at 3 mana, play mana pot, put down Poseidon. He's a 2/2. These stats are pathetic, right? So, but that's not what you care about. You care about the Kraken, right? So the whole philosophy is that because it's a 2/2, 2 damage, it does way too much damage and it clears out their entire board and something it can do against it. Well, let's be real here for a minute. If that is true, first of all, when you coin out Poseidon, you do not have access to the Kraken, so they already have a board presence at turn 3, you know, as most people probably should. Then they can't get rid of you immediately. The next thing is for them, I guess, so let's say for the next 3 turns, all they use is Kraken. So at turn 4, they use Kraken. How much mana do they have left? 4 minus 3 is 1. Next turn, they have 2 mana left. Next turn, they have 3 mana left. That's assuming that this person uses Kraken consecutively for turn, 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 turn. At turn 8, they have 5 mana, where they could actually play a god like Arachne, a god that is a standalone powerhouse. So please tell me, I would love to hear in the comments below how that is overpowered. How setting yourself so far beyond curve, just doing 2 damage to a little square 4 is so ridiculous. It's just like explosively overbroken. The only card that I think probably needs major adjusting, I haven't even found it, is Freya, because I've heard it's ridiculous. I mean, it is ridiculous. Oh, it's up to 4 enemies? Okay, so see, it's not like broken thing, and I don't know because I haven't played against it yet. That's why I'm gonna be releasing, I guess, a patch assessment video later. Like, there's no reason to do it now because I don't know what's happening. But more importantly, people are complaining about the layout, where you have your little stone pillar here, your stone pillar here, and and people don't like it. People are saying, "Nah, we want the other way," or more importantly, we've been telling high res for they're saying months. It's more like a solid, let's call it 3 to 4 weeks. 3 to 4 weeks, how they don't like the summoning stone structure, or more importantly, they don't like the singular summoning stone structure, right? First thing, the player base of this game is pathetically tiny right now. The biggest singular issue with the game is the lack of ability to test stuff. They have us in the Discord. in games, like whenever I click play, and even when I do whether I do ranked or versus, I find the same people sometimes in determining the type of day over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. One time I found a person 5 times in a row. This is what a beta looks like. A beta is not gonna have a massive player base. It's not gonna have instantaneous perfect changes. So complaining about it can be constructive. Saying, hey, Poseidon feels kind of strong. Is he actually strong? Let's test it out. Let's feel if this guy is strong. Or, hey, Isis is feeling strong. Can we adjust that? That is constructive. But complaining about it, blaming high res, saying, oh my gosh, they can't adjust the game structure to my perfect design. And like me and 10 other people want this. That's understandable. I get it is very frustrating to see when the game takes a path that you don't like, and especially when it refuses to revert to a stage that you liked better, right? And I'll tell you right now, I'm not a massive fan of the summoning stone. I think it's fine. The singular summoning stone definitely speeds up the game way more than I think it probably should be sped up. But that's constructive criticism. But blaming the game and saying it's unplayable and saying I bought into this, so therefore I cannot play it is ridiculous. The game is in beta for a reason. It's just flourishing right now. So how are people gonna complain about a game that is just now starting? It's ludicrous. So if you're watching this video, I'd say just take away three things. First thing, making constant patches for a card game is very difficult. You look at Hearthstone. They release four. They release, I guess, really four patches per year with new data. Four. That's it. And that's like one of the biggest games. That's one of the biggest card games of all time. Hi-Rez is trying to do you guys a favor by really expediting this beta process, really shoving all this new content into the game. Some of it you're gonna like, some of it you're not gonna like. But more importantly, understand that every change can't be a positive change. Hi-Rez can't magically know what the entire player base wants because the player base is so tiny. It is a very small community right now. That's why you have people such as myself and Deathwalker and a bunch of other streamers and YouTubers trying to help this community rise up and really become potent and like I guess and actually have a community because right now is a very small one, very small, enough so that the main people who pretty much play this game are all like I can find probably a solid 80 to 90% of the people I play against in the Discord. Okay, maybe it's a bit high, maybe it's like 60 to 75. Okay, but the point is that it's a very true statement, at least for myself. So that's the first thing. Just to recap, don't go expecting constant positivity games in beta. Second thing, adjusting the game is a difficult task because unlike Smite, where you can tweak an item here and there, a card game has a lot more luck variant to it. But more importantly, for example, if they went back to the two summoning stone structure, that we don't know how old cards would work. Like people expect high res and expect the coders and the programmers, more importantly like the game designers, to have infinite knowledge of what's going to happen. A lot of cards can break the game in certain situations, like old Scotty. Old Scotty when it was just when the god was the leader and you had to kill the god. That was ridiculous. I was like, what? I was like at turn 4, or I guess you would like. Wait, I'm not sure if Scotty was the same cost. Isn't she a 3-drop now? I think she is. Yeah. At turn 4, you would have so much damage on the board that would just destroy you, and you couldn't do anything about it. But now, in the current meta, she's relatively balanced. She's strong, but she's not like game breaking like she was back then. So what I'm saying is it's very difficult to modify the game to what a very specific and I guess specified and relatively small community wants. It's very tough. So be a bit easier on high res, okay? And then the third thing, and this is gonna sound kind of rude, but guys, this game hasn't even hit live yet. Okay, like it has not even been publicly released. They're still giving out like beta codes if you want it. This is a pretty hella good beta in my opinion. That we have all this content, that we have the makings of a possibly fully fledged game when it's not even publicly released. Now, obviously, I could be wrong on that. I don't think I am. I'm like 99% sure it's still in private beta, but I'm not exactly sure, so don't quote me on that. But even then, this game was like, I remember like, just as a frame of reference, I talked to Scott Gandhi when I went to the expo, right? And when you look back at the expo, especially because like his main like his goals for that time, right, was get the Chinese pantheon in the game, and I think he's also to get it on console, which I'm not sure if where that is. Don't quote me. I mean, obviously like that's what he told me. I'm not exactly sure what his new plans are. But think about how far they've come from SWC. That was January 1st. We have the Chinese pantheon, a fully fledged one of the strongest pantheons, and the Roman pantheon. And this is I guess is June 9th, right? January, February, March, April, January, February, March, April, May, June. 6 months he has done this. I guess their team has done this much. I know things may not be the way that you want them to be, and I get that. It's very frustrating. But as a community for this game, we have to move in a positive light. Don't say I'm stopping playing this game because I don't like the way it is right now. It's in beta. Here's what I'd suggest. I already gave you the things to take away from this video. Actions. If you really don't like this, make your voice heard in a positive manner. Maybe like everybody like has access to the Hand of the God Discord. Voice your concerns there. See what other players think, and if enough players think it, then definitely mention it to some of the like Adonis, Scott Gandhi, or like even you can even tweet them, message them this. Freaking, you can write a letter to high res. There's so much you can do that is positive, but complaining, ranting, and refusing to play the game because you don't like its current state is kind of detrimental to the game overall. That's what I would say at least. So overall, guys, I mean, I will say this is kind of a last second, hey, I'm gonna throw this concept thing in the video type situation. So it's just again, this I don't have like I'm not reading something here. So these are just my thoughts on the news patch. Now, in terms of actual balancing in the news patch, I don't know. Like it's gonna take a very long time to, or not very long. It's gonna take a significantly long time to actually figure out what cards are very strong, what cards are weak, what changes need to be made, and really whether the map itself is such a significant issue. With that being said, uh, y'all stay good. Remember, name's Comcast employee. If you guys see me, shout me out. Whatever. I'm always having fun. Have a fantastic day.